exams or something, no? You have finished your law exam? Okay, so however, we will start the session. If they are joining, we will allow them to join during the session. So I have received your assignment submissions. I think there are 32 submissions, but we have 31 groups, right? Maybe some group have submitted twice. I don't know what the reason. Maybe two persons might have submitted one document. So maybe I will check. Okay, so as informed earlier, today onwards we have to start the presentation. Are you all ready for that? 26th onwards, I have already informed you that the presentation will start. And since you have asked for extension only, I have given you 2 days extra for the submission up to 25th. Are you all ready for the presentation? Group number 1. Are you all here? Okay. Okay, so I can give you one additional day for the preparation of the presentation. Okay, so tomorrow we will have class at 2 o'clock. Okay, 2 to 4 maybe. So where the presentation will start. Okay, hopefully the group 1 and group 2 have to present tomorrow. I will inform. I will give you the schedule of the presentation at least. Maybe 1 week before for the other people. But for the group number 1, it's already informed that the presentation will start. Okay. Group number 1 and 2 members, are you all here? Yeah, slides preparation, it's up to yourself. You can decide the number of slides and the content you need to put in the slides. However, don't prepare the slides with greater prepare it with the minimum contents because you have already submitted the report, so everything in detail it's there in the report. So only just include the main points, only the main content, because the PowerPoint, in the sense, it's the powerful points to be included, not the entire content or the entire report has to be there in the slides. So prepare it with the minimum content. Not like that, even I have included the more theoretical parts here because it's for your study purpose. I'm going to upload it to your study purpose, but the presentation, it's only for the presentation purpose. That, in the sense, you have to prepare the slides in a very attractive manner with a minimum content, with a that's up to you. Your creativity, the innovation of preparing the slides, it's up to you. How you are going to make use of the pictures, or how you are going to make use of the infographics, or else the animation, maybe the transition. It's up to yourself. However, the time allocated for a group is 20 minutes for the presentation and 5 minutes for the Q&A session. Okay, so there will be some any extra time or the scrap time for the mechanical or the technical errors may be if it cost. So the maximum time for a group is allocated is the 30 minutes. Okay. So within that 30 minutes, you have to complete, and at least you have to present for 15 minutes. You can stop there. You cannot complete the presentation with 10 minutes because you have to elaborate the things in your presentation, not in the slides. While you are presenting, you have to clearly elaborate the issue you have identified, how you have identified that issue, the way you have followed, the methodology you have used to identify the issues and come up with the solutions or the recommendations. And everything have to be clearly presented when you are doing your presentation. Okay. So the division of the parts for the presentation, it's again up to you. You can decide which part needs to be presented by which person, which group member, but altogether, a group is allocated with 20 minutes of time for the presentation. presentation. Whether you complete the presentation or not, I will stop you at the 21st minute. Okay, you will not allow extra time for the presentation, and 5 minutes for the Q&A. I will ask some questions, and your peers can also ask the questions. Okay, and tomorrow 2 p.m. the presentation will start. Okay, two groups needs to present tomorrow. Okay, I will let you know about the other groups in the upcoming sessions. Tomorrow is an additional session. Hopefully, we will have the session on Wednesday as well. Whether we are having the presentation or not, it's not yet decided. However, the group 1 and group 2 get ready for the presentation on tomorrow. Okay. Any other things? Again, when you are presenting, you have to switch on your video. You should not tell any excuses because the time is already informed. Okay, the group number is already informed. So you have to be ready with the device, maybe your laptops or the mobile, any other mobile devices, what you are going to use for the presentation, and proper connectivity. Okay, you should not tell that because of the network issues, I'm not able to switch on my video. If I switch on it, the voice breaks or something. You cannot say any excuses. If you do so, you will be deducted a certain percentage of marks from your presentation, or total marks allocated for the presentation. And for the presentation, individual marks will be allocated for each and every one who is presenting only will be gaining the marks. Even though your names are there in the reports, if you are not presenting, then you will be given 0 marks for the presentation. And whoever presents only get the marks, and that will be allocated in an individual manner based on their way of presenting and the presentation skills. They will be individually evaluated, and the marks will be given in an individual manner. The video must have to be switched on. You should not tell any excuses. And again, when you are presenting in an online virtual environment, when you are using the video and audio, then again the appearance of yourself that you have to decide on. Okay, so the formal appearance is expected from you all. Okay, so anything else to ask about the presentation? And if any group is not ready to present, like group 1 and group 2 is allocated for the tomorrow's presentation, and all of the groups have to be there. After the presentation, we will be continuing the session. Okay, everyone has to be connected, and you have to listen to their presentation. And if the groups, allocated groups, are not ready to present, again they will not be given any marks for the presentation. If I'm calling you a number, if you are not ready to do the presentation, the order of the presentation you can determine. If I'm calling the group number, if that group is not ready to present, again they will be receiving the 0 marks, because the time is already communicated. Today onwards, the presentation will start. I have given you an additional day for the preparation, so you cannot have any excuses hereafter. Anything to ask? Any clarification? Any member from group number 1 and group number 2? Are you all here? Group number 1 people? Anyone? Anyone here? If you are here, please raise your hand. Group number 1, yeah. Com 97, you are from which group? 1 or 2? Com 97. Group number 2, anyone from group number 2? Are you connected? If it continues in the next class as well, 1 and 2 will receive the 0 marks, and others who have joined to the session today, please inform the things that I have told you to the other friends as well. Only 64 participants are there. If the people join later, I will again give you the instructions about the presentation, and please communicate these things to the other people, okay, to the absentees of today's class. Okay, almost this have been already communicated, but just for a reminder, I have again told these things to you, and please communicate these things to the other people as well. Shall we move to the session? Yes or no? If you don't have anything to ask, the other groups also you can ask if you have any clarification regarding the presentation. Okay, so we will move to the final theory, final contemporary theory of motivation, okay, which is the expectancy theory. Okay, so we have already gone through the two set of theories, that is early theories on motivation, and then the contemporary theories on motivation. So early theories, we have already looked into 4 different theories, and the contemporary theory, we have seen certain theories, and this is the final one. Okay, so one of the most widely accepted explanation of the motivation is the Victor Bloom's expectancy theory. Okay, so this is one of the most prominent theory of motivation. So although it has its critics, most of the evidence supports it. Okay, so no any theories are like they are without any critics. Each and every theory holds its own critics, and like that, even the theory of motivation, theory of expectancy theory of Victor Bloom's also has its own critics. Okay, however, there are certain literature it supports this theory as well. So expectancy theory argues that the strength of our tendency to act in a certain way depend on the strength of our expectation of a given outcome and its attractiveness. That means, so it says, this expectancy theory says that whether the strength of our act or our tendency, so whether we are intending to engage in a particular behavior or not, that strength is going to be affected by, or it depends on how much we are expecting the outcome is, or the expectations of the given outcome and its attractiveness, whether we are expecting a certain outcome from a certain behavior and how attractive that outcome is. So these two things will decide whether we are going to behave in a certain way or not. For example, if we are expecting, like if I study well, really well in this semester, I will able to get uh, a plus in all the subjects. Okay, if that is the expectation, and if that expectation is really attractive, like if I get a plus, I can end up with the first class. Maybe if this that will lead to the greater GPA of myself, and with that greater GPA, I can end up with, I can graduate with the first class. So that's why that getting A plus is really attractive to the students. So if the expectation is there, if you have a certain expectation and that certain expectation is really attractive to yourself, then your strength, you will work towards that expectation it very strongly. So if you don't have any expectation, if even you study, if you are not expecting to earn A plus, then you might not be motivated to work towards that goal, because even if you know, if you are expecting a plus, if you don't have any attractiveness towards that A plus, then you will not again work towards that particular goal. When it comes to an organizational scenario, for example, the manager is assigning you a particular job task, and you are expecting that if I complete this particular job, the manager will reward me. Okay, the manager will give me a certain reward, maybe 100,000 extra bonus or incentive will be given to me. That's how you are expecting. Okay, and if that 100,000 is really matter to you, if your salary is really 50,000, then and a reward of 100,000 is really matter to you. That means it's a big amount that you can gain. Okay, so in such circumstances, what you will do, you will put more and more effort on the particular task assigned to yourself, and you will try to complete the task in a very well manner. Okay, so if that is a competition, for example, if someone from other company also maybe working towards that particular goal, maybe achieving a particular contract. Okay, so if that is the situation, if you achieve the contract, you will be rewarded. So here you will put more and more effort on the work, because you have expecting to receive 100,000, and that is really attractive to yourself. If the manager don't give any rewards, or if you are not expecting anything from the work, then you will not work towards that goal. That is the expectancy theory. If you have a certain expectation to be achieved, and that expectation is really matter to you, if even though the manager is assigning to a goal and saying that if you achieve this contract, 100,000 incentive will be given to you, and if that is a statement given by the manager. But if your salary is 500,000, and a statement of giving you 100,000 is not a matter to you. Okay, so you will not like attracted towards that 100,000, because you are earning much more than that 100,000. So here the attractiveness is not there. So in such circumstances also, you will not work towards that particular goal. However, when there is an expectation, and that expectation is really attractive, that outcome is really attractive, then you will motivate you to work toward that goal. That is the expectancy theory. So the theory focus on three relationship. First one, effort performance relationship. That means if you are putting more and more effort, you are expecting to have greater performance. That is the first relationship. Then if you performance reward relationship, that means if you are achieving a higher performance, you are expecting a certain reward from the management. That is the performance reward relationship. Then reward personal goals. Okay, so if you are receiving a particular reward, then that will lead you to fulfill your personal goal. That is the third relationship. Okay, so these are the three different relationships suggested by the expectancy theory. You can see those relationship in a diagram, like how individual effort lead to the individual performance, individual performance leads to organizational rewards, and that organizational rewards leads to the performance goal. So these are the three different relationships suggested by the expectancy theory. Okay, so it helps explain why a lot of workers are not motivated on their job and do not do only the minimum necessary to get by. Let's frame the theory three relationship as a question. The employees need to answer in the affirmative if they motivation is to be maxified. Okay, so according to the expectancy theory, we can ask three different questions. By asking that question, we can identify the answer, so we can come up with some solutions how the employees can be motivated. First, if I give a maximum effort, will it be recognized in my performance appraisal? So the first relationship is put into a question. So if I put more and more effort, will I be recognized? Okay, during the performance appraisal. Second relationship is a performance reward relationship. If we transform it into a question, it is like if I get a good performance appraisal, will it lead to the organizational reward? So if the performance is high, then would I able to receive any rewards, external rewards? Okay, finally, if I'm rewarded, the rewards attractive to me, whether that rewards are fulfilling my personal goals or not. That is the third relationship. So these are the three different questions we can ask to motivate the people according to the expectancy theory. So this is an overall picture of the contemporary theory which we have learned in this chapter. Okay, how each and every theories are connected to each other. So in the middle there will be the expectancy theory, and the other theories are related to connected to this expectancy theory. So many of the theories of motivation are complementary. They are not competing each other, they are complementary. Okay, support each other. So we now tie them together to help you understand the interrelationship. So we can tie all the theories to understand whether there is any interrelationship between this theory. So expectancy theory predict employee will exert high level of effort if they perceive a strong relationship between the effort and performance, and the performance and reward, and the reward and the personal goal. That means uh, coming from the uh, bottom to the earlier part backwards. If they perceive these three relationship, then they will put more effort. And each of these relationship is in turn influenced by the other factors. So it will be in the middle part, the performance expectancy theory. And each of these theories or each of these relationship uh, explained by these expectancy theory is affected by the other factors. For effort to lead the good performance, the individual must have the ability to perform and perceive the performance appraisal system as a fair and objective. Okay, so if they want to put more effort, if they want to uh, put more effort in with the expectation of increased performance, they must have the ability to perform. Without the ability, can you do any jobs? It's not possible. Okay, even your manager assign a task to yourself, even you are expecting a higher performance with a higher effort. But if you don't have the knowledge, abilities, and the expertise to deal with that particular task, then obviously you cannot do. So that ability will be interacting that relationship. Okay, here you can see. So effort performance relationship is impacted by another factor, which is the ability. So second one, the performance reward relationship will be strong if the individual perceive that the performance rather than the seniority, the personal favorites or the other criteria is rewarded. So for second thing, if individual wants to believe that performance lead to the reward, first they have to believe that the performance evaluation criteria, the reward is considered. And if cognitive evaluation theory were fully valid in the actual workplace, we would predict here that basing rewards on the performance should decrease the individual intrinsic motivation. So, according to the cognitive evaluation theory, what it says, if we provide the employees with external rewards, it will reduce their intrinsic motivation. Okay, so then that will be affected. Okay, cognitive evaluation theory. And then the final link is the expectancy theory is the reward goal relationship, and motivation is high if the reward for the high performance satisfied with the dominant needs. So that means if the rewards are satisfying the dominant needs only, it will be leading to the personal. Okay, any clarification on this? If you all are clear with this, please raise your hands. ஹலோ. அந்த ஆர்டர் டெலிவர் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? என்ன டைம் போல போவீங்க? ஓகே. அப்படின்னா நீங்க அங்க வந்து எடுக்குறாங்க. ஒரு 12:30 அப்படி வந்தா எடுக்கலாமா? ஓகே. அப்ப வந்து எடுப்பாங்க. சரியா 12:30 அப்படி. ஓ! இல்ல, இல்ல. பிரச்சனை இல்ல. வரக்குள்ள அவங்க எடுத்துட்டு வருவாங்க. வெளிய போயிருக்காங்க. அப்ப வரும்போது எடுத்துட்டு வருவாங்க. ஓகே. ஓகே. Okay. So if everyone is clear, almost 22 participants raised their hands. I don't know about the others. If you have any clarification, you can ask in the upcoming classes as well. Now we will move to the other chapter, which is all about the foundation of the group behavior. So something related to the group. Okay. So up to now, we are dealing with the individual perception. So the individual components of the organizational behavior. So, as we have seen in the first class or maybe the introduction, the OB analysis it's divided into three different levels: the individual level, group level, and the organizational level. So, up to now, up to chapter 7, we are dealing with the concepts which can be applied to also be applied to the group level, but it's almost related to the individual, okay, individual employees. And now onwards, we are moving to the other level of analysis, which is the organizational level. Okay. So here, uh, the intended learning outcomes of this particular unit, the understanding the group behavior is defining the group and distinguish the different type of group. This is a really an easy things that we will try to define what is a group, and there are different types of groups, so we will try to distinguish how each and every groups are different from one another. And the second learning outcome is identify the 5 stages of group development. Okay, what are the different stages of group developments are there? So the group developments, it's classified into 5 different stages. We will look into those things and show how the role requirement change in different situations. So again, the role requirements of the group members are not the same in each and every situation. So the role need to be played by each and every member are different from one another according to the situation. So we will try to find out, or we will try to vary those situations, those role requirement according to the situations, and then demonstrate how norms and status exert the influence on an individual's behavior. Okay, so again, how different norms or statuses placed by within the group can influence the individual behavior within the group. And again, how the group size affects the group performance. Is there any connection between the group size and the group performance? So if there is any connection, so how it can affect? Okay, and then contrast the benefits and disadvantages of the cohesive group and the non-cohesive groups, and understand that means cohesive group in the sense each and every member in the groups are they are really connected to each other, and they will be helping and supporting to each other members in the group. So that is the cohesive group. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of a cohesive group? And then understand the implication of the diversity for the group effectiveness. So whether the group needs to be composed of the similar people, the identical people, or whether the diversity needs to be ensured. So what is the implication of diversity for the group effectiveness. And then contrast the strength and weaknesses of the group decision making. Okay, so what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses of the group decision making? Whether the decision need to be taken as an individual or whether the people need to take the decisions by as a group. And then finally, compare the effectiveness of interacting, brainstorming, nominal, and the electronic meeting groups. So there are different types of groups. Okay, so we will try to compare the different types of contemporary groups. Okay, so these are the learning outcome expected to be achieved at the end of the particular chapter. So first thing, we will try to understand what is meant by a group. What do you mean by a group? So group is two or more individuals. So you cannot say one individual as a group. If a group needs to be formulated, then at least two individuals should be there. Okay, and two or more individual interacting and interdependent who have come together to achieve the particular objective. Okay, so not only one individual, at least two individuals should be there, and that two individual have to be interacting with each other. If there are two persons A and B, and if they don't talk to each other, if they are not interacting with each other, then they cannot form as a group. Okay, and they, again A has to be dependent on B, and again B has to be dependent on A. So that interdependence also need to be created, and who have come together to achieve the particular objective. And why these A and B are interacting with each other, why they are talking to each other is in order to achieve a common goal, maybe to completing a group assignment. That may be your common particular objective. Okay, so why you all are grouped into, why you all have interacted with, why you all are dependent on each other is because if you have divided the certain parts, or if you allowed the members to do certain parts of the assignment, then each and every member is dependent on the other member, because if one member of your group does not contribute to the part, then you will not able to complete the assignment. Okay, so that may be the interdependent, and you have to interact, talk to each other if you want to complete the assignment. And what is the purpose of the group is to complete the assignment. Okay, so that is what the group, two or more individual has to be there. They have to interactive and they have to be interdependent on each other. And why they have come together to achieve their particular objective. And these groups can be classified into two. Okay, so one is formal group, other one is the informal group. So formal group is the one which is defined by the organizational structure with the designated work assignment establishing the task. So formal group in the sense by the organizational structure, because there's a structure in each and every organization, and by that structure, this group has to be designated. If the group has not been designated by the organizational structure, we cannot say it as a formal group. If you are forming a group by yourself, if the members' name list is not there in the structure, then that cannot be considered as a formal group. Okay. So in formal group, the behavior the team members should engage are stipulated by and directed towards the organizational goal. So if organization is forming you as a group, maybe a committee to achieve or like evaluate performance of the other people, maybe that group behavior, what you have to do as a group member is again structured or designated by the organization, and you have to work towards that goal only. You cannot create and work towards certain other goals. That is the formal group. For example, 6 members of an airline flight crew are the formal group. Okay, so airline, maybe the pilots, a group of 6 pilots is considered as a formal group because they are the one they have to uh, like get the flights, or they have to lead the flight. Okay, so that is the formal group. And the informal group in the sense they are neither formally structured or organizationally determined. They are forming among the employees as itself. They formulate some friendship and they form the formal group, informal group. Okay, so there is no any list of members in the organization structure, their task in the organization structure, nothing is there. They just form as a group, that is the informal group. So informal group are the natural formation in the work environment that appear in response to the need for a social context. Why the people are forming as a group is there's a need for the social contact. And in order to fulfill that need, the people are forming into groups. So three employees from different departments who regularly have lunch or coffee together are an informal group. So if you are grouping, if you have a group of people like who are having lunch or maybe coffee together, can be called as the informal group. Okay, that is the other type, the second type of the group. Okay, so why people are forming the group? Why they cannot complete the activity, complete the task alone? Why they cannot have the lunch alone? Why they cannot have the coffee alone? Why they are forming the group is because of the social identity. Social identity theory proposes that the people have emotional reactions to the failure or the success of their group because the self-esteem gets tied into the group performance. So if they believe that they are being a group, and if their identity is tied to the group, they will work towards that group or they will work with that group. Okay. So the social identity theory is the perspective that considers when and why the individual consider themselves as the members of the group. Why the people are considering themselves as the members of the group. Okay. That is what explained by the social identity theory. So social identities help us understand who we are and where we fit in with other people, but they can have a negative side as well. Okay, so why people want to attach themselves to a group, that is what said by the social identity theory. So when you think that you are assigned to for a OB assignment, you have assigned to be in group number one, then the overall marks the group one will get will be deciding about your social identity, your status. Okay, so again, these because of this grouping, there can be some intergroup or in-group favorisms may arise. That means we see the members of our in-group as better than the people, and people not in our group as all the same. Okay, so again, the grouping can lead to some in-group favoritism. That means if you are a member of group number one, you will see all the members of the group number one as better than the other people who are not the members of the group. That is the in-group favoritism. Okay, so again, why the people form group? It's because of the social identity. So what are the characteristics which make the people the social identity as an important thing is first one, the similarity. Okay, so if you see any similarities between two people as yourself, then you will again immediately go and talk to that people. So for example, if you like uh, going for a maybe if you work for an organization, okay, being selected by an organization to work for, and where you see most of the people are like you are assume that you are now 24 when you join the organization, your age is 24. Then when you see the other people, almost all of the people are more than 40, 40 years old, maybe 50 years old. But when you see there are three people who maybe like 25, 26 or 23, so in that age group, then you will immediately go and create some friendship with those people and form as a, you all four form as a group, form as a gang. Okay, so why it is because you are finding some similarities in age wise with those people. Okay, that's why you are forming as a group. And the second one, again, distinctiveness. The people are more likely to notice the identities that show how they are different from the other group. Okay, so again, you want to distinct yourself. So again, if you belongs to a group, you want to distinct or differentiate that particular group from the other group, and because of that distinctiveness you want to work for that group. And the status, sometimes being as a member of a particular group gives a certain status to the other people. For example, if people are being like the social organizations like the clubs, maybe social clubs, being a member of the Lions Club or the Leo or Rotary clubs, that will you think that enhance your reputation like as a social activist. So because of those status, you want to join that clubs. And the next one is the uncertainty reduction. For example, that means if you work alone, all the risk, all the challenges of that particular task is associated to yourself. You have to bear all the challenges and risk. But when you associate yourself to a group, you as a group only bearing the risk. Even though you fail, it's not because of only because of your fault. You will not be bearing the failure, maybe the loss. The other group members or the loss might be shared among the other group members. So the uncertainty reduction would be there when people join to the group. So because of these reasons, the people want to join the group rather than working alone. Okay, is that clear? Anything to ask in the what is group and what are the two different types of group and why people want to join groups? Clear or not? Anything to ask? Any clarification on up to this? Okay. I don't know whether you all are clear or not. I hope that you all are clear. If you have any clarification, again, you can ask. Okay. Now we will move to the other part, that is the stages of group development. Okay. So again, as I have already told you when I'm explaining the intended learning outcome ILO, the group development is classified into five different stages. The group generally passes through a predictable sequences in the evolution, although not all groups follow the five stages of model. It's a useful framework for understanding the group development. So it's been classified into five different stages, the group development. However, we cannot expect that all the groups have to go through these all five stages. Some groups may skip certain stages and directly move to the other stage. But this is a general model which can commonly apply to the group development. Okay. So the five-stage group development model characterizes the group as proceeding through the distinct stages of forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Okay. So you can see there are five different stages. The first one forming, second one storming, third one norming, fourth performing, and finally adjourning. These are the five different stages of group development model. Okay. So the first stage is, as you can see in the picture, the first this part shows that the individual are not connected to each other. This is one individual. This is one individual working towards this direction, and this is working towards this direction. This is another individual working towards this direction, and this is working towards bottom, and this is working towards up. Okay, so the individuals are there. Different individuals are there. Five different individuals, and five different individuals are working in five different directions, so they are not even grouped into and they are not interacted with each other. Okay, so this is how the individual will be at the initial stage. So first stage, you have to form a group. That is the first stage. Okay, so what you will do, you will get all those five individual into a group. That is the first stage you are going to do in your group development. Okay, you have to bring all five individual into a group. So they characterized by great deal of uncertainty about the group purposes. So even though you have brought all those five individual into a group, they will not clear about the group's purposes, why they have formed into a group, what's the purpose of the group. Okay, and what's the structure, how this group is structured, whether this all the individual needs to be like how they have to be communicated with each other. Okay, So whether we need to follow any kind of structure, any reporting mechanism among this group, who is the leader of the group. So nothing is defined yet. Everything uncertainty will be there in relation to these facts. Okay. So this stage is complete when the members have begun to think themselves as a part of the group. So but at the initial stage, even though we form all five members as a group, they will not think themselves as a part of the group. They even they immediately they want to work alone. They don't want to work as a group. But whenever they start to think about as a member of that particular group, that the forming stage will end. Okay. So second stage is storming. So this is one of the intra-group conflicts. So because the group members are not clear about the group's purpose, structure, leadership, okay, there will be there are some chances of the conflict to arise. Okay, so that is why the second stage is called as the intra-group conflict. So the members accept the existence of the group. So okay, they will accept. Okay, I'm the member of the group, but they will resist the constraint because as a member of the group, you cannot do everything as an individual. Some restrictions might be there because you are belonging to that particular group. You have to comply with the group's expectation and the group's rules. So some kind of resistance would arise. So there is a conflict over who will control the group. Okay, there will be some conflict. Okay, who is going to be the leader? Who is going to control the group? Okay, so when this stage is complete, there will be a relatively clear hierarchy of the leadership within the group. So whenever the storming stage completes, there will be a leader, okay, to whom everyone has to report to. There will be a clear hierarchy. Like out of these five, one person will be selected as the leader, and other two, there will be two persons decided to work immediately after the leader, and other three persons they have to work under the second leader, the vice leaders. Okay, so that's how a hierarchy will be established in stage two. And stage three, okay, here you have put into group and you are trying to interact with each other. And whenever the stage three, there will be a leader, and under him or herself, the other members will be working on. So third stage is the close relationship developed, and the group demonstrate the cohesiveness. So in the third stage, the people try to connect themselves with each other. A close relationship will be created in the third stage, and they will demonstrate a kind of connectivity, a kind of cohesiveness, a kind of support towards others. Okay, so this norming stage is complete when the group structure solidifies and the group has assimilated a common set of expectations, because you can see leader is there, everyone will be connected to that leader, so a common expectation is would be there, and of what defines correct the member behavior. That is the third stage. And the fourth stage, what will happen is the structure at this point is fully functional and accepted. They will start to work as a group. That is the fourth stage. Okay, the group energy has moved from getting to earlier during the third stage. All of your energy, all of the members will be involving in getting to know about the other member. Who, what is your name? Where are you from? What is your background? What you are better at? So those kind of interactions will be going on. Nothing about the goals, nothing about the targets will be there in the third stage. But in the fourth stage, actual functioning will start. The people might be started talking about the issue. They started talking about the objective to be under, achieved, and they will understand each other, and they will perform the task actually. That is the performing stage. And the final stage is for the permanent group. These will be continuing. There will not be any end for the group. But when it comes to the temporary group, there will be a end. Okay, so once the target is achieved, once the group is performing the task, and once they achieve the target, they will adjourn. They will dismiss the group, and the member will start to function as individual back. But for the permanent group, the adjourning stage will not be there. They will continuously work. Okay, so for the permanent group, the performing is the last stage in the development. However, for the temporary committees or the teams or the task force or the similar group that have a limited task to perform, the adjourning stage is for wrapping up the activities and preparing the disband. So that means you have completed all of the activities and you will wrap up the activity and you will disband the group. and try to work as a normal way as an individual. So some other groups unbeat, basking in the group accomplishment. So other may be depressed over the loss of the camaraderie and the friendships gained during the work group's life. So sometimes even though you have completed the activity, you will be like very sad or feeling very sad of the loss of friendship that you have gained during the group. Okay, so these are the five different stages of the group. And the next part is that is for almost for the uh, all type of groups, whether it is temporary or permanent in nature. But there is an alternative model which is developed only for the temporary group, which is with a deadline. Okay, so there is a clear deadline for this type of group, and once the deadline is done or is over, the group will dismiss themselves and they will disband and they will start to work alone. So the temporary group with deadline don't seem to follow usual five-stage model. The studies they have their own unique sequencing of action. So here you can see they don't follow those five-stage model. They have their own sequence of activities to be followed. The temporary group. First one, their first meeting sets the group discussion. The first one, they will be setting the group direction. So the initial stage, they have to set the direction. Second one, the first phase of the group activity is one of the inertia. So they will start working from the status quo to improve something. Okay, then transition takes place. So there will be a transition takes place when the group has used up half of its allocated time. If the group has formed for 6 months period, half of the after the 3 month period, the transition will take place. And again, this transmission initiates the major changes. So again, the transmissions happened during the third month will initiate the major changes in the group. And the next one, the second phase of the inertia. So again, after the transition phase of inertia, nothing will happen, nothing will change. That period would be there. And again, the group's last meeting is characterized by markedly accelerated activity. Okay, so that is the final stage. So this pattern is called as the punctuated equilibrium model. So this is how it will do. First, there will be a meeting on the group direction. The first phase of inertia, nothing will happen up to certain time. And at the end of the third month, at the end of the half of the period, the transition, immediate transition will take place and performance will increase. And after the transition, again, there will be nothing will be there. They will hold the group just and that will be in a inertia position, and then after that the group completion will happen. Okay, so this is how the temporary group will work, and the model which applies to the temporary group is called as the punctuated equilibrium model. Is that clear? Anything to ask? Any clarification up to now? Okay. If it is clear, I just want to have a chat with you all regarding the inauguration ceremony of your juniors. I have asked your rep to contact me once you have decided about the decoration. That I heard that your batch is responsible for the decoration. Whether the batch representatives here, are you connected? Okay. I don't know whether he's here or not. That your batch is responsible for the decoration. May I know about the plans of your decorations? Anyone involving in that? Is there anyone who is involving in the decoration? Please raise your hand. Com 141. Are you involving in the decoration? Okay. Anyone? I just want to know about the idea and what you have planned to do. Nothing else. This is the, just for a information purpose. Students, are you hearing my voice? Please respond. Anyone who is involving in the recreation? Yeah, Com 35. Okay, okay. So let's have a break about 5 minutes and come back at 12:09. Okay, shall we start? So, no one who is involving in the decoration? Yeah, 164 com. Do you want to say anything? I just want to know about your ideas about the decoration. No one is there. Okay, anyone who is involving in the decoration, can you please contact me after lectures? Maybe through the mobile. I will send my mobile number here. Okay, so it's there in the chat box. Please contact me once the lectures is over. Okay, so now we will continue from the sections where we have there. Okay, so this is the next part. Okay, the group properties, a major part of this particular chapter, group chapter. So this is the major component. Okay, so the group properties. So where the properties are roles, norms, status, size, cohesiveness, and the diversity. There are five different properties, five different things which has been identified as the group property. So the work groups are not the unorganized mobs, like they are not unorganized. So when you see the work groups, it's a formal group. Okay. So usually the work groups are considered as the formal groups because there are informal groups in the organization. But when it comes to the work group, they have been formed for a particular task, particular objective, and the organization structure will define that group. Okay. So they have the properties that shapes the members' behavior and help explain and predict the individual behavior within the group as well as the performance of the group itself. Okay, so why these properties are there? What's the reason for this property is they have these are the behaviors that shape and explain and predict the individual behavior. Okay, so that will explain and predict so how the members has to behave and how they will behave in certain situations. So in order to understand those things, these properties will help us. Okay, so there are six different properties: the norms, roles, norms, status, size, cohesiveness, and diversity. So we will see each and every property in detail. So the first property, that is the roles. Okay. So all group members are the actors. Okay. So that means each and every member in a group who is playing a role. Okay. So sometimes some member will be the leader, so he will be playing the role of the leader. So like how even though you are not the leader, even though you are not holding any position in a particular group, just being a member of that particular group, you will play a role. Okay, so role, how we can define that role is, you understand, I hope you understand what is meant by the role. But if you want to define that role, the particular term role, so role is a set of expected behavior patterns attributed to someone occupying a given position in a social unit. That means it's a set of expected behavior patterns. Like if you are a leader, then what are the behavioral patterns or what are the types of behavior you are expected to exhibit, you are expected to show. That is the role to someone occupying a given position in a social unit. Okay, so by being a member, maybe by being a leader of the particular group, by being maybe secretary of a particular club, or by being a treasurer of a particular unit, what are the roles you are expected to play? That is what are the things or how you are expected to behave? That is the role. So our understanding of role behavior would be dramatically simplified if each of us could choose only one role and play it regularly and consistently. So if we are attached to only one group, and if we are required to play only one role, there is no any issue, no any conflict would arise. But when the conflict arises, when you have to play diverse role, for example, you work for an organization where you are a member of that particular organization, a particular group, okay, where you work as a manager, okay, maybe. So where you have to play the role of manager. And again, when it comes to your personal life, you are a member of your family. It's a group. A family is considered as a group. where you have two kids to take care of, and your spouse is there, and again you have to take care of your mother and father as well. Then you are a member of six member family, that is a six group. Okay, six member group. Then here you are playing the role of two different groups. Okay, one is being a father of two kids and being a husband or the son of two the parents, and again other one is you are expected to other role you are expected to play is you are being a manager of the organization. Then you have to do, or you have to fulfill the responsibilities of both the roles. Then only the diverse when you are expected or when you are required to play the diverse role, then there will be a chance of conflict to arise. So this is where the role ambiguity or the role clarification is expected. So different groups impose different role requirement on the individual. Okay. So if you are required to play different roles in different groups, and each and every role from each and every group will require you to play different, you to fulfill different requirements. So the first one is in relation to the role is role perception. An individual's view of how he or she is supposed to act in a given situation. That is the role perception. So by being a father, how you view the activities or the behavior you expected to exhibit or you expected to show in a particular situation. Okay. So when it comes to your child's or your kid's birthday, how you have to behave, how you perceive yourself to show a certain behavior. That is the role perception. And again, when it comes to a meeting in the organization, how you want to behave, how you perceive yourself as a manager. That is the role perception. Okay. And the second one in relation to the role is the role expectation. That means the way others believe a person should act in a given situation. That is the role expectation. So how you are viewing or the how the others believe about yourself, how you believe you want to behave in a certain situation is called as the role perception, and the way the others believe the way you want to behave is called as the role expectation. In the workplace, we look at the role expectation through the perspective of the psychological contract. So how others view your role is through the psychological contract. So that is called as a psychological contract. In the sense, it's an unwritten document or unwritten agreement. There is no any written agreement. The people don't agree each other in a written way. But however, each and every party will understand, okay, this is what others are expected to do. That is the role expectation. So, for example, your spouse will expect you to buy things or expect you to contribute financially to the family. That is what the role expectation of your wife as a husband. Okay, and provide the care towards herself and care towards the kids, and provide the financial support, provide the physical support and the psychological support. That is what expected from your wife. So if there is any written documents of this agreement? No, this is an unwritten agreement. However, both parties will agree each other. Like that is a psychological contract. Okay. The third thing related to the role is role conflict. Again, as I already said, when you are required to play diverse role, again the diverse role will put you different pressure or different requirements on you. In such cases, if you cannot fulfill the requirements of one role because of the other, then the role conflict may arise. Okay. So, for example, if you are a father of the kid, maybe on the birthdays, you have to be with your kid. But because of a meeting in an organization, if you can't attend the birthday party of your child, then the role conflict may arise. Okay. So, this is the first property. Is anything there to ask in relation to the first property? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for the response. And the second property is the norms. Okay, that means the acceptable standards of behavior shared by the members that express what they ought and ought not to do under certain circumstances. So, norms in the sense, what are the acceptable standards of behavior? Okay, though you are being a member or though you are being a manager of the organization, there are certain things which is defined. However, even though they are not defined, there are certain acceptable standards of behavior uh, that define or that tells what you can do, what you cannot do as a manager. Okay, what is uh, like uh, considered as the acceptable behavior and what is not considered as an unacceptable acceptable behavior. So that will be defined. Okay, so, when agreed to and accepted by the group, norms influence members' behavior with a minimum of external control. Okay, so when agreed to and accepted by the group, when all of the members are agree that okay, this is the acceptable behavior and this has to be done and this has not to be done, this should not be done, then that norm influence the behavior, then everyone accepts that coming 8:30 to the office is acceptable, but coming 10 o'clock at the office is not acceptable. If everyone agrees to that, then that will influence the behavior. So whenever you are being a member, you have to come at 8:30. You should not come late to the office. Okay. So different group communities and the societies have different norms, but they all have them. We cannot say like no any group or no any community is there without any norm, without any acceptable behavior. Though they are different from each and every community, each and every club, they have certain set of acceptable set of behaviors. So norms can cover virtually any aspect of any other group. Okay. So probably the most common is the performance norm. What is the acceptable level of performance? That is the performance norm, providing the explicit cues about how hard the members should work, what the level of output should be, how to get the job done, and what level of tardiness is appropriate under life. That is the performance norm. So, what is the acceptable level of behavior? How hard a person should behave, or how hard a person should work in order to achieve the produce the output? What is the level of output which is considered as an acceptable level of output? That is the performance norm. The other type of norm, which is also common, is the appearance norm. That means how you have to present yourself to the others. Maybe your dress code, maybe the way you talk, the way you look, the way you behave with the others. So those are the appearance norm. The next one is the social agreement norm. So with whom to eat lunch and whether to form friendship on and off of the job. That is the social arrangement norm. So whether you can form friendship with your colleagues, is it acceptable or not? Whether you can eat lunch with them, whether you can have the coffee with them. So all are like uh, controlled by or are influenced by the norms of that particular group. And the final one is the resource allocation norm. So assignment of difficult job, whether the difficult job should be assigned to this particular person or the other person, the distribution of how the resource has to be distributed among the members, how the payment has to be done. So everything will be decided based on the resource allocation. So these are the four different types of norms. Okay. Okay, so these are the norms. And another thing which is related to the norms is, yeah, there are something we have to go through the norm. So since there is a power cut here, I just want to wind up the class with this. Any doubts up to now? Anything to clarify? I will clear with the contents which we have covered today.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. If you need to ask anything, you can ask in the upcoming classes as well. So thank you for joining. We will wind up the class with this. And please communicate me, or please contact me, those who are involved in the decoration process, just to know about your idea. Okay, nothing else. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.